Welcome to episode 117 of the BCF ORG podcast, The Business of Business. I'm Brian Fisher. In the previous episode, 116, our guest was Jacob Hicks, discussing lasting client relationships. Today's episode discusses effective financial operations with Matt Tait. This podcast series is targeted to business owners and C-suite executives. It reflects my 34 years as a business owner and subsequent years as a business mentor and consultant. It focuses on the various subjects and topics to help you run a successful, profitable business. They're approximately 15 minutes long, so you can listen while commuting. Hopefully, you'll find one or two takeaways to implement per episode. Based out of Indianapolis, Indiana, Matt Tait is the CEO of Decimal, a financial operations, bookkeeping, and tax company. As a thought leader in accounting, business, law, and tech, Matt Tait empowers business leaders to get the most out of their enterprises. With an array of experience in failing, restarting, and scaling, Matt's not short of advice for entrepreneurs looking to grow their businesses. He's an expert on unleashing the potential of a team, harnessing transparency and leadership, and achieving goals without sacrificing company values. Caring deeply all the time is his thing. Matt's competitiveness and compassion for those around him have allowed him to work with some amazing people while always driving forward. Now more than ever, Matt wants to help businesses focus on being there for their clients, growing their business, and spending time with their family. Each step of this journey has given him the additional experience and tools to grow, but his foundation will always be rooted at home with his amazing wife and 3 great kids. Let's welcome Matt Tait. Matt, welcome to the BCF ORG podcast, The Business of Business.
Brian, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us today, Matt. Matt, I'm always interested in people's stories. What's your background in becoming the CEO of Decimal?
So there's no straight path to how I got here. Like you and I were talking earlier, I'm a recovering attorney. So that was my first career. And from there, I decided to swing the pendulum and get into the tech startup world and ran and started 3 other businesses. Through that, learned how important and how hard it was to find good help in the kind of back office accounting and finance. And so like any good entrepreneur, I started a company with my co-founder, Jacob, to help small businesses find great accounting and tax help.
Well, this episode's topic is effective financial operations. How can simplifying accounting processes fuel faster growth without adding additional overhead?
So that's a great question. You know, to me, what I talk to business owners about all the time is if you get the boring stuff right, it allows you to focus on the more interesting things. So if you can put together a really good foundation in your back office, good technology, good tools, good processes, you won't have to spend much time on it. And not having to spend much time on it opens you and your company up to spend time on helping current clients or selling new clients. If you don't do it the right way, it can take a lot of time. Also, at some point, your business is going to grow and you're going to want to focus on the numbers and see where am I doing really well? Where am I not doing really well? And how do I improve? And you can't do that if you don't have the right systems in place to actually see that information. So setting the foundation of the boring stuff well is what allows you to focus on the more exciting things.
Following up on that, Matt, what mindset shifts do entrepreneurs need to make when they're scaling their business while staying operationally lean?
So I think the biggest thing is these are areas I always joke that everybody hates their bookkeeper. And the 3 worst parts about running any business are HR, IT, and accounting. You feel like you're moving backwards when you do anything. But the reality is, if you find the right stuff, if you put the right stuff in place, it'll save you a lot of time and money along the way. So for instance, in today's world, you should never deal with paper. Everything should be automated and in the cloud. If you're writing checks, if you're dealing with paper credit card statements, if you're creating invoices in an Excel spreadsheet or in a Word document and sending those out, you are wasting time and money. Doing those things hurts your business because it takes time and money from you. finding the right systems saves you time and money, which allows you to focus on more important things.
Well, I think you nailed it on the head with those three items. They were definitely my least three favorite. Um,
Mine too, but don't tell my team.
we're speaking with Matt Tait, CEO of Decimal. Matt, while we're scaling our businesses, how can we not lose our hold on our values?
That's a great question. And for somebody like me, I run a company that's 5 years old. And in that time, we've grown from 0 people to 110. And so we've certainly grown quite a bit and establishing core values. And really, I call myself the chief repeating officer. Repeating them, talking about them, working with them, getting your team to repeat them, your clients to repeat them. That is what ultimately helps you lock down who you are as a business, what your mission is, and what your values are. And then putting the systems in place, financial or otherwise, that help make it so that people can focus on their jobs and their roles is what truly, I think, helps a business maintain its identity as it grows.
Well, getting the team on the same page and have everybody pulling on the same end of the rope is a huge accomplishment.
It is. It takes a lot of work.
It does. Matt, business owners all want to get their businesses to a place where it runs smoothly and efficiently. How do you help them achieve that?
One of the biggest things that we look at is what are the ideal outcomes that you have? If your ideal outcome is to spend as little time on an area as possible, what systems can you put in place to do that? So for us, we look at a lot of businesses and we focus on their back office. So how do they make money? How do they pay bills? How do they pay their people? And how do they track it all in a way that they need it? What we try to do then is to figure out how can we do that in as efficient and streamlined of a way as possible. And you'd be shocked at how many times businesses just they kind of get going. And business owners, that's kind of our mentality is, hey, we're going to go and then we'll clean the rest up later. And the thing that you want to clean up last is your bookkeeping and financial operations. And so we hop in there and we help them streamline these processes, which puts in better AR so they get paid faster, more, I would say, predictable billing so they understand cash in and cash out on a better basis, better reporting on product lines or service lines so they can understand, hey, maybe my biggest revenue generator is actually my lowest profit generator. You'd be surprised how often you see that in businesses, and really trying to help them put in the systems and the processes and the technology that help them get a deep understanding of what's going on, doing it as efficiently as possible so that then as they grow, they can look and say, hey, I want to improve this area, or this is an area I've targeted, or my numbers are showing I need to improve, and giving them the ability to do that and understand how to do it well.
Well, managing your AR is just a huge factor on your cash flow.
Oh, big time. And I think a lot of businesses, they just assume people are going to pay them. And it's not that you're dealing with bad actors, but everybody gets busy and you forget about things or you want to balance cash flow. And the reality is you have to put in the habits. And that's another thing that we work with our clients on is establishing the best weekly, daily, monthly business habits to get an understanding of cash flow and getting an understanding of the numbers and KPIs in your business. At a very high level, you need to understand on a daily basis what's going in and what's going out. And that helps you to understand kind of where you sit day to day. You should go much deeper than that, particularly as you grow. But number one, that's the very basic understanding everybody should have, and that very few businesses actually take the time to do.
Man, what results or lessons learned have you seen with businesses and individuals that have implemented your recommendations?
Oh, I mean, I'm talking say like, small businesses, you can start to save a business owner or a leadership team tens of hours a week. You can take a COO that needs to be focused on running a business, but has to focus on this area and say, hey, here is a third of your week back. And it's amazing what that can do to an actual business because they're not tracking down receipts or expense reports or invoices. They just know it's all happening. The other thing that you can do for more mature businesses is help a CFO put in the processes that help them get the good data, which allows them to predict the way forward. So for us, it's truly getting an understanding of the incremental parts of the business. It's also looking at some business owners. We had a company come in with over $1 million in outstanding AR. And just by making him sit down on a call with us once a week and review it, that dropped to under 300K in 2 months because he goes, I just didn't know. I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't looking at it. It put $700,000 into his bank account almost immediately. And those are the types of things that we really look at. The other thing is just as you grow, you have to trust a lot of people that you may not focus on or think about. And so having really good financial controls in place also helps you say that, hey, that money that I'm earning, that our business is earning, is safe and it's predictable, and I know that I'm okay. And that type of thing helps people like you and me just sleep better.
We're speaking with Matt Tait, CEO of Decimal. Matt, is there anything I've not asked that you'd like to add?
One of the biggest things is spending a little bit of time at the beginning focusing on your financial operations. How do I make sure that I put in the right tools, processes, and habits? And actually taking that little bit of time at the beginning can save you hours and tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars along the way. I know it's not an area that anybody wants to focus on. I certainly have been there myself, but just doing it a little bit at the beginning saves you a ton of time on the back end.
Matt, how can people get in contact with you?
It's easy. Our website's just decimal.com. It's very easy to find. Or I talk about running businesses better and how to scale on my podcast, After the First Million. So people can just follow me on LinkedIn or just like you, follow my podcast.
Matt, thanks for joining us today on the BCF ORG podcast, The Business of Business.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
My sincere thanks to Matt Tait for joining us today. Managing the performance of your company is one of the most important things you do as a leader. This podcast is on YouTube and over 20 podcast directories. In search, type BCF ORG. Be sure to leave a space between BCF and ORG. And don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow the podcast. If you'd like to reach out to me for business mentoring or consulting, schedule a speaking engagement, ask questions, make comments, suggest ideas, or potentially be a guest like Matt, please go to bcforg.com. There's a red Contact Us button in the middle of the homepage. All the podcasts are available by clicking on the website podcast page in the reference bar. These podcasts will be released the first and third Tuesday each month. In the next episode, 118, our guest will be Justin Goodbread, discussing planning for business exit. In business, running a successful, profitable business is the ultimate scorecard. You are never done and can always be better. It tends to be more fun than work, frustrating at times, but can be very rewarding. And don't underestimate the value of a business plan and financial planning. From BCF ORG Corp., I'm Brian Fisher, wishing you the best. Thanks.